welcome all to BLIX family. As we all know, we have the common passion for diversity and inclusion and for really making a difference. So just to give you a quick intro about BLIX, and we are really excited to see you all becoming leaders of the future through our offering from business bites, leadership lessons, inclusive leadership, and knowledge exchange sessions, just like the one we have for you today. And these are just some, and this all wouldn't really be possible without the incredible team that we have on board. So a big shout out for the team that really working hard behind the scenes to make all this possible. And these are just some of our incredible mentors that we have on board at BLIX. Make sure to really book some time with them, as this is really key in driving both your professional and personal growth. And not to further go into it, Ambreen is also, which our speaker for today, is also a mentor at BLIX. So you're going to have the chance to book one-to-one with her. And Ambreen has possessed over 15 years of experience in market research. And she has worked with multinational companies that really have gave her an understanding of consumers' behavior, psychology, and diversity within humans' behavior. So make sure to connect with her on LinkedIn and on Instagram to see her amazing work that she's really putting. And also she's launching her book soon about a similar topic that we have for today. The topic is about unleashing the power of your thoughts. We really know the impact that we have as humans, and it's really all come down to one thing, which is our thoughts. So I'm gonna be passing it over now to Ambreen, who's gonna give us a talk about unleashing the power of your thoughts. So it's over to you now, Ambreen.
Okay, thank you so much, Yumna. And I would like to say thank you so much to BLIX for giving me this opportunity to share my thoughts and on this very important topic, which is actually very close to my heart. So thank you so much, Yumna, Carol, Jamila, and all the rest of the admin team. So thank you so much. So today the topic of my webinar or the talk is unleash the power of thoughts, because I believe that, you know, we do not have the power over circumstances or events, but we do have a power on our thoughts. So let's make the best out of it. I will be talking about this. I've divided my session into like four parts. The first, I'll be talking about the anatomy of thoughts, that how these thoughts are formed and how thoughts are formed, the biological reason and the physical aspects of thoughts. Then I'll talk about the forms and formation of thoughts, you know, the flow of thoughts that we go by in the negative and positive thoughts. Then I'll talk about how to actually harness the power of thoughts, the serpent power in our head, the amazing power that we already have in our head, how to use it, and then how to use it to shape our future. Okay, this is the great thing. I love it, because what we think, we become. So whatever we thought our thoughts are, it's actually is shaping the reality. So first of all, let's see that what are our thoughts? Our thoughts are actually a form of energy created by synaptic reaction by neurons. What we think about something, it actually creates a neural path in our brain, as if like we have the same thought over and over again, that creates a neural path in our brain. And it gets like, if like the more we thought about the same thing, it actually develop a stronger path, and the path gets etched in the brain the more we thought about. So that is how the brain actually changes the physiology of our brain in reality. And as often it is said that the cells that fire together are wired together. Like more formally, we can say that any two cells or system of cells that are repeatedly active at the same time will tend to become associated, so that the activity in one facilitates the activity in other. That is how our brain continues to create neural path. And and create new neural pathways and alter the existing one in order to adapt the new experiences we learn and new information and create new memories. You must have like noticed the old or elderly people usually have hard time changing their beliefs and habits. Why? Because they have been practicing certain habit or they have certain belief for so long that the neural path has been actually etched in their brains. So it is difficult for them to change their beliefs or their habit. It's difficult for them, and that the entire thing is called neuroplasticity. So that was the uh, physiological part of the thoughts. Now let's talk about the quantum physics. Like let's see what quantum physics. Is somebody saying something? Hello? Yeah. Okay. So let's see how quantum physics connects with the human brain and how quantum physics describes this phenomena. In a study published in 2015, physicist Matthew Fisher argued that the brain might contain the molecule that they are capable of creating an entanglement. Entanglement is a link between two particles or two atoms. He pointed out that cells' energy is stored in a molecule form, which is called ATP, and which contains some strings of phosphorus. So when the phosphorus creates a spin or entanglement that has the power to make the connection between that has the power to make two atoms or particles act like a magnet. So our brain, actually our thoughts, do not only have the power to change the physiology of brain, but also has the power to create or alter the outside environment. Because when we create thoughts, it actually creates entanglement from with the atoms or the particles from outside our human body. So in a nutshell, energy created by thought has the power to create entanglement between the outside atoms or particles as well. And that also sometimes, like quantum consciousness is claiming that quantum mechanics offers some plausible rationale for such thing as telepathy and telekinesis. Okay, so we are what we repeatedly do. Have you ever thought that how many thoughts you have per day? It's actually quite huge. It's according to a study, our human mind thinks between 50,000, 80,000, or to 80,000 thoughts per day. It's huge, isn't it? I mean, 50,000 and 80,000 are thoughts per day that if we break it down, the average will be the 2,000 to 3,300 thoughts per hour, which is a huge number. How does it happen? So, like our mind has interconnected thoughts. When we start thinking or when we see something, maybe it triggers a memory from an old event. And then again, that triggers another memory. So that's how it goes. Sorry, hello? Yeah. So that's how the train, like we becomes lost in our train of memory, because all these thoughts are interlinked with each other, and one triggers another. So have you ever thought that, I mean, you think a lot every day, but what are all these thoughts? So most of the time, this is our mind constantly engages in certain like commentary. For example, when you get up in the morning and you think that, oh, what breakfast you're gonna have. When you're drinking a coffee, you may comment on that. Your mind say, oh, it tastes a little bitter. Or when you go to the office, you see some colleague wearing a nice shirt, and then you say, okay, the shirt is good. Or someone you don't like something. So it constantly engages in certain in commentary. Similarly, sometimes when we do something good, our thoughts usually gives a boost or to our morale because it's positive and we feel good about it. But sometimes it becomes very irritating and exhausting, especially when you're anxious or not worried. So that becomes very dangerous and self-defeating when it gets negative. Okay, negative thoughts actually are the biggest enemy of the success because it holds us back. It drains our energy. And the worst thing is that it gets when we start to rationalize our negative thoughts. For example, you rationalize to explain away or put a favorable light on something that you have done that you feel bad or unhappy about. You cast yourself in the role of victim and you mark the other person or organization into oppressor or the bad guy. So that is how it becomes really self defeating and it may hamper your growth. Okay, so it is actually a general tendency that a mind gets into the negative thoughts first because whenever we encounter any situation our mind start thinking about the negative outcome first. Why? Because our mind is made to protect us from danger. So that's why whenever we are trying to go into a new situation our mind tries to warn us that to protect our well-being. And Dr. Aaron Beck, founder of cognitive behavioral therapy, referred to these thoughts as ants. Ants here mean automatic negative thoughts, because he said that like where these thoughts invade us like ants, and when we need to shake them off and squash the ants. But as you know, that ant may look very insignificant or very small, but when they invade in a group, it is hard to fight them. So he actually said a very interesting term. Again, he introduced that we need to, the best way to conquer ant is to turn them into pet. And here pet means positive. You have to change our thinking from negative to positive, empowering thoughts. How do we do it? For example, when we are going for a meeting, we feel nervous, we feel bad. Oh, when we start thinking that, oh, it might get wrong, and that we may not be able to perform well. So rather than resist these thoughts, you need to accept it, because the more you resist, the more it will persist. So you accept, okay, there will be a problem. There could be anything can go wrong, but you start preparing for that. You take action, you leave no ends loose, you work hard, and then tell your brain that, okay, I have done enough. Now I'm confident enough to go in the meeting and come out successfully. So we have to channel our thought in the right direction. Okay, now we have seen that how the thoughts are formed and how we can channel our thoughts. But when we channel our thoughts, these are how can we actually harness the power of thoughts, how can we can capitalize on that. Okay, so whenever we are faced with any challenging situation, or simply whenever we are faced with change, we are faced with three possibilities. That is, one is to resist the change and go back to the old self. Second is either to curse the fate and feel victim of circumstances and end up becoming worse than we were. Or the third possibility is to to accept the challenge and come out stronger than before. So these are the three possibilities that we are always faced with. Law of attraction says that as you think thoughts, they are sent out into the universe and they work as magnetically attract things that are same in frequency. Everything that's sent out returns to the source, and that is you. So first of all, you have to have you should know that what you want to think. So, and you should have a clear vision, uh, and you should be very clear about what in your thoughts, and you have a clear you have to define your goals very clearly, and most importantly you have to visualize it as you are achieving your dream. You should see it that it's happening as is there. Let's see that how other people have actually, especially Jim Carrey, who has actually capitalize on this power. And Jim Carrey revealed his secret of success during his interview with Oprah. In 1985, Carey made an audacious decision. He wrote himself a $10 million check for acting services rendered, dated it 10 years in the future, and kept it in his wallet. And he explained that during the interview that he visualized having directors interested in him, people that he respect actually saying that I like your work. So, but he also pointed out that only visualization doesn't work. You have to work hard also. He actually said that you can't just visualize and then and you go eat a sandwich. So you have to visualize it and see it that it's happening in real. You work hard for it, and that is how you can attract success. So why it happens? How this? Because we are all spiritual beings. Our souls are pure energy. Everything is around us energy. So we have the power to electrically energize everything and attract to sorry attract towards it, because we work as a sort of our thoughts and our own spiritual our being. We are working as a sort of a magnet that attracts energy. Whatever we send out in the universe, we will attract the same. Okay, how does it actually work? A dream, when we imagine our dream with intense desire, it emits certain frequency that travels across the universe and attract events and the people who can lead you to your dream. Like thoughts create vibe, which leads to the result. And so in order to change your result, you need to change your thoughts so you can create the same vibes. Has it ever also occurred to you, like, like for example, sometimes it happens that you start thinking that you develop an interest in certain field, and then you start to see that, like you start meeting with the people of the same field or something. So it works like that. Whenever you start looking for an answer, you will start like for example, if you have question in your mind, you will start receiving the answer from the universe also, because that's how the frequency works. Whatever the frequency you emit or you exude in the universe, you will attract. Another very important thing is that because our thoughts, our feelings have the immense power. Our thoughts and emotions are linked with each other, and when we connect with our thoughts with feeling, it becomes even more powerful. And because, like, what you are thinking, ask yourself how you're feeling. Emotions are valuable tools that instantly tell us what we are thinking, because it is impossible to feel bad and at the same time have good thoughts. And that is how that also gives us the power over our emotions and over our moods. For example, if you are feeling bad, you can just alter your mood just by changing your thought pattern. So your thoughts determine your feeling. And again, why it's important to have positive feeling about yourself, because if you have to treat yourself with love and respect, because the more you feel you will love yourself, the other will also start loving you. Because if you won't love yourself, no one else will. And similarly, if you have the negative image of yourself, you will attract negativity in life also. So that basically, think today and shape tomorrow. Like, for example, whatever future you want, you have to start thinking about it now, because thoughts shape our future. Whatever we think today, it will appear in our future. So whatever, for example, if you want to, like the Jim Carrey wanted to have like $10 million, and he actually wrote a check to himself 10 years before. So whatever your thoughts whatever you want, you have to, whatever you want to achieve in future, you have to uh, think now. Okay, I would like to share my story also, that how I changed, uh, how I changed my situation, how I have struggled to actually, because how I rewired my neurons to achieve success in my life. Like, for example, I would say that when I am from, like, a lot of people know that I'm from Pakistan, and I was in Pakistan, I was enjoying a very good job, and I was enjoying a very good status, a leadership role in the biggest multinational country, biggest multinational companies in my country. And I was like very happy with this. But then what happened was that I had to actually leave my job and move to Saudi Arabia because my husband got a better job. And either I have to compromise on my family, but then, of course, we cannot live in separate countries. So I had to leave my job. And then when I moved to Saudi Arabia, I was really very depressed because there are not much opportunity for women, and my career was stopped. Being a very ambitious woman, I wanted to go much higher in my career, and I was actually moved to a place where I couldn't work. I couldn't even go out independently. I can't have that, like, my bank account or something. I couldn't even drive. Now it's like, now I can drive, but at that time when I moved 10 years ago, there was women are not allowed to drive. So I was quite dependent. Somehow I was like, I was in Pakistan. I was someone very important, like managing a lot of global project, and meeting with people across the world. And from where, like, I suddenly, my status changed from someone to no one. So initial time was really depressing, and I did feel really bad. But I realized that if I had the choice, either I keep cursing my fate or take the charge and uh, change my situation. So I actually opted for the second one. I said, okay, let's do something. I know there are not much opportunity, but let's create an opportunity. So I started looking for some work. And of course, I had faced a lot of troubles because, I couldn't find much opportunities here. But again, when you have the will, definitely you have a way. So I started working on the freelance basis. I started approaching different companies, and then I got the opportunity from the, like, Euromonitor as well. And like a lot of, I had a lot of struggle. And of course it was not easy because not having a proper office setup was also a big challenge, because when you are working from home, like you have the kids, and then you have to manage house, but at the same time managing the same expectation of professional projects as well. So it was a very tough time. But like, that's what I will say again, that I accepted this challenge and I wanted to move further. And then again, I tried to make out a lot of opportunities. I started working, and since I feel that m- brought the change in my life, why should I not help other women also? So I joined another group of ladies who help, and we are helping other women to empower in this, to give them empowerment in our country. So this is how, like, I feel that whatever we learn, we should pass it on to others so others can get benefit out of it. And that is the reason why I'm also working on the book. So whatever the knowledge I gain uh, throughout my life, through my experience, I can share it to other. And of course, I'm here sitting and giving you the lecture. That's definitely is one of my milestones that I have achieved. I have given lectures to and talks to many other places also. So that's how I actually rewired my neurons, rewired my uh, change my thought pattern to achieve or attract success in my life. I would say that let your faith be bigger than your fears, because fears, I feel, are the only limitation in our mind that that actually stop you from going to the unknown territory, to explore something that you have never done before. So these are the things. The fear is actually in the mind that tells you, or to actually it's meant to protect us from the danger or to danger situation. But once you overcome your fears, then that is the only way to go and achieve the success. Because the power you have is always in your thoughts. So stay aware, and your job is actually you. I would actually leave you with this a small sort of video, which actually summarize uh, my entire talk on that. And after that, I'm open to take the questions.
Bruce Lee once said, learn to discipline your emotions, because if you don't, your enemies will use them against you. You see so many people looking around for someone or something to blame, someone or something to point to as to the reason why they are where they are, as to the reason why they aren't where they want to be, because they are believing and thinking the enemy is outside of them. So many people want to blame others for where they are in life. It's always someone else's fault. The enemy is always outside. But in reality, the enemy is rarely ever outside. Most often, the real enemy is in your own mind. The real enemy, the one that battles you every day, the one you must conquer, is within you. You must kill doubt. You must kill fear. You must kill those negative thoughts. You must kill blame and take responsibility. You must kill weak thoughts and trust you are strong enough to handle anything. You must kill any fear of rejection and know if you value yourself, you can't be rejected. The battleground is your mind. Enemy is your subconscious and unconscious negative thoughts. If you want to win in life, you're going to have to fight those thoughts, fight those beliefs, and kill them once and for all. You're going to have to fight like a warrior. Face those thoughts, destroy those thoughts, and claim the quality of life you deserve. The enemy is rarely outside. In almost every case, it's an inside job. Having thoughts of lack, believing you have limitations, blaming others rather than taking responsibility, not trying for fear of failure, staying safe for fear of failure, and worst of all, not expressing your true self for fear of rejection. I will kill doubt. I will kill fear. All fear. Any fear. I will kill negativity. I will kill blame. And I will take ownership of this life I'm living. I will take control of this mind that is mine. These thoughts that are mine. My thoughts are now under my command. I am in control. No one else controls my mind. I do. I'll back myself. The enemy is rarely outside. It is always inside. You defeat the enemy by not fighting it, but by becoming better than it, smarter than it. You defeat it by working on you. That's how you silence the enemy within. Become greater than it through your own self-work, through self-discipline. Through daily work, the better you get, the quieter the voice gets. The enemy within can't criticize the one who has done the work. It can't argue with someone who has no regrets. So do the work every day. Every step forward builds belief. Every step forward builds confidence. Every step forward develops habit. Every step forward is a step ahead of that voice.
Perfect. Okay, so just before we jump on to the questions, thank you so much, Ambreen, for such an inspiring talk and for sharing your journey with us. That we can all tell it required a lot of resilience, determination, dedication from you, and we're really looking forward to your book. So please share that with us once it's ready to go. And yeah, let's open the floor now to take on questions.
Okay, so I think I see the question from like Jamila, that what advice would you give to your younger self? It's basically I would say that I am because of my past experience. It's basically you should not let your past define you. Like if, for example, if you have, even if you have, if you face failures, so that doesn't define you. To just learn whatever uh, you have faced if you did any mistake, you just learn from it and move on. So rather than okay. So rather than, just stuck at the moment of, or stuck in the failure, or stuck in the moment where you feel that you are more, you feel that you are not in control. It's not like that. You're always in control. So yes, sometimes it happens that because, I felt that when I initially, as I mentioned, that when I initially moved to Saudi Arabia, I did feel a lot of depression. And I do feel, I started to having all the negative thoughts. But then why did I have all those negative thoughts? Because I thought that I'm not in control. But when the moment I realized that, yes, I am in control and I can actually take charge of my life and I can change my situation. So that was the time, that was the changing moment of my life. And I said, okay, let's let's stop feeling depressed or cursing your life, and let's do something to bring about the change. So I feel that, yeah, one should never get stuck with the mistakes or failures. Just move on, just use them as a stepping stone towards your own success. Yeah. Yes, exactly. Some Hansana is saying that the beauty of human being is continue to learn. Same, we're all doing. Yeah, we can have it. Very true. Yeah. Anything else? Any other
Yeah, I
question?
actually have a question, Ambreen. So I know you're a mom, you're working, and you're a wife.
Yeah.
How would one of the main struggles is always to balance work with life, and with being a mom is another job as well. So
Yeah.
how do you deal with this, or how do you manage all, and you're doing your master's now. So
Yeah.
you can tell us how do you
Yeah.
manage all of this?
Actually, yeah, I would say that, yeah, it's very difficult to juggle these roles and responsibilities, and especially at the same time, I would say that especially that after this lockdown. Before the lockdown, it was like more disciplined in a way that I had some time slots like completely defined, that this is for me, this is for schools, and this is for kids. But now it's like all the time mixed up and juggled up. But again, the only thing I would say to actually have to take up all these responsibility is to have discipline in life. I have a strict discipline that, in the morning I get up at that time. I have to give that much time to the house, that much time to my kids, that much time to my studies, and that much time to myself, because it's very important to actually take care of our own self also. Because if we are not in a perfect condition, we won't be able to serve other as well. Because as a mom, I have a responsibility of my kids, so I have to manage them also. Because the kids themselves is a like 24/7 job. Because you have to be you have to teach them, you have to take care of their like their studies. You have to know that what are they doing in their leisurely activities. So you have to do everything in a way. And the most important thing is, like, when you divide your day, you have to be with that time on, you have to focus with that thing only. For example, if I am with my kids, I am not doing my work, or I am not on my phone. So, like, you whenever, whatever the time you give them 100%. and then move on to the other one. Because if you try to do the multitasking all the time, then nothing will work. So discipline and focus is the key, actually, I would say, to manage all these responsibilities and juggle these roles.
No, thank you so much. I think this is very true because when you tend to have work and you spend time with family, you tend to think, oh my God, I need to go back to work. So you don't
Yeah.
really enjoy the moment. So thank you so much. I think also we have some questions in the chat box, so feel free to take them.
Yeah. So, okay, so if you mind asking, what would you say help you overcome the hardest? Yeah, the hardest challenge is basically to realize that you are in charge. Because you know what, the moment you realize, your life changes. I mean, till this that was I mean, it's easier said than done, I would must say. You know, like most of, because why I'm saying, because you know, it's very easy to feel the victim and let go, or to blame others on circumstances. But the thing is that when you have to take the ownership of your own action and your own decisions. If it was very easy for me to say, okay, I'm now stuck in the situation, I can't do anything. But the thing is, okay, I said it happens and that was my decision, and now I should accept it as a challenge and move on. So this, I think the hardest challenge is to accept the fact that yes, we are in charge and we can actually change it. And you have to internalize it. Internalize means you have to completely believe, have a strong belief in it, that you know, you can change the situation. Only then you can bring about the change. Otherwise, nothing can change your situation.
Thank
So,
you so
okay.
much. I think we missed one question before the question of
Okay.
Sama by
Okay.
Carla. Yeah.
Okay. Can negative thought help you prepare for negative situation in your life, even though it makes it? Yeah, actually, this Carla. As I mentioned, that you know, negative thoughts are the, like, you know, this is the inherent part, that we actually dwell in negative thoughts first, because our mind is made to be it's meant to protect us from dangers, because that's our biological way. Because God has given this ability to protect, because the basic part of the main function of our brain is to protect our well-being. So that's why whenever we go into the new situation, our mind stops us. It stops us, warn us to why it does that, so we can get prepared. So use that warning as a friendly reminder that you know, we have to be cautious before going to a new situation. So for example, as I mentioned, that when we, for example, when we are trying to make some when we, for example, when we have to go for a meeting, and our mind is constantly like, we feel nervous, we feel bad, and we start thinking that what can go wrong. So okay, list it down, that okay, what can go wrong, and then give it a proper logical reason. Okay, this thing can go wrong, and I have prepared this against it. So you have a complete logical answer to whatever your thoughts, negative thoughts are. So that's how you can counter, and that's how you change it to into the positive. For example, if you feel that okay, I cannot face people in front of the I cannot face the crowd, you know, like the fear of public speaking, accept it. Okay, because you don't have to say no. You can, positive thinking doesn't mean that you just say, start thinking, oh, everything's gonna be okay. It's not like that. Positive thinking means accept the challenge, accept it, okay, that this can go wrong, and work in a positive direction. So as I said, that if you feel that yes, I have the problem of or facing public, accept it, work upon it, and rather than feeling just worried or anxious, you work upon it to actually overcome that fear. And then you have to say to your mind, okay, that was the warning sign given by me, given by the mind, that you feel nervous, and you said, okay, I've worked upon it, and now I can face the public, and I have, you know. So that's how, of course there will be mistakes. You have to give yourself a sort of a a cushion that, yes, there could be problems, there could be hiccups, there could be challenges, but just say it positively and say work upon it. I mean, positive means that you accept it, that yes, it can go wrong, and you can, and the positive is, yes, there was a problem, you can work upon it and you can change it. That's the positive thinking. Okay, so I hope I answered the question. There's another one. I guess a married lady, our self rights are ignored, which sometimes lead to burnout. Yes. How much time you must give to yourself, jobs, family. I understand. I completely. I written a few months back. I've actually written an article about it because as a woman, we have this mental burden more because like for example. As a woman, I know that I have to take care of my kids. I have to make their breakfast, and I have to do their laundry. Their clothes should be pressed and everything. And this thing, are sort of this mental burden is all on us. Somehow, men are actually not with this, occupied with this mental burden. They take it. They take things one at a time. But we know that this is sort of ingrained in our personality, maybe like because of culturally or socially, because this managing house is sort of something that we know that from the moment we are born, that we have been told that you have to take care of the house, you have to take care of your kids. So this mental burden, I agree, is a lot more for women. But the thing is, as I mentioned, that we need to keep a balance and we need to give time to ourselves. It's very important to have a me time. Like for example, I wake up at 5 o'clock and I do meditation, I do yoga. So I know, I make sure that I don't get stressed out a lot. I do feel sometimes a lot of stress, but then again, you need to have some time. I make sure that I, on weekends or on sometimes, I go out with my friend to have some time to enjoy my life. Okay. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Ambreen.
Yeah.
If anyone also have a question, feel free to unmute yourself. I think just because before everyone goes off, let's take a group photo. And then we can have more two questions from
Yeah,
BLIX family.
sure.
And
I keep it. I intentionally kept my presentation a little smaller because I feel that it's much better to interact with people and take the question, because that is how you guys can relate to your life and I can give advice more personally to you. So I'll be much honored that if you guys keep asking questions.
perfect, great. So yeah, please do make sure to unmute yourself if you want, or drop them in the chat box. We can take a group photo before everyone heads off. So if you guys can keep your camera on, that would be great. I know not everyone feels comfortable doing so, so it's fine. But I'll count till 3 and then I'll take a group photo. Okay?
Sure.
1. Okay, I'll give them some time if someone wants to fix their hair or whatever it is. I'll give 2 minutes. I can see everyone's turning on the camera. It's amazing to see your faces and be familiar with you guys.
You all actually, yeah.
So, okay, I'll count till 4 and then I'm gonna count that I'm gonna take the picture. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll take it now. I think everyone heard that chick. But yeah, perfect. Please do feel free. We're gonna, Ambreen, if you're happy to take more on questions, please do feel free to ask them. Just a question that we usually ask our speakers, because it's very powerful to hear from you about this. What is your biggest learning in leadership so far?
Biggest learning in leadership is, I must say, that understanding your team very well and empathy. I mean, knowing your team, that what do they want. It's very important to know that, like before they speak out, it's much better. You need to you need to be able to understand from their maybe like non-verbal cues, or even like you must have the power to read between the lines, that what message they are giving. Because sometimes, especially in the team, when you are leading a team, people sometimes are not very comfortable sometimes, and they may not be open, or they may not be able to express what they want. So it's important to know what your team really wants and how you can manage this. And also very important is that when you are actually leading a team, you should know what are their talents. Because when you know their talents, uh, uh, you can actually guide them according to their main talents or something. And one very important thing is, a leader must have a vision. Without vision, their team will always be sort of haphazard. They will be going here and there. So for a leader, first of all, they should have a vision, and the important thing in order to manage the team, to have the ability or to understand the empathy part is very important. So these two things I feel that is very important for a leader to lead the team successfully and productively.
Thank
Yeah.
you so much. The second one, what do you wish you would have known at the start of your career?
Sorry, what do I wish?
You wish you would have known at the start of your career.
At the start of my career, what do I know? That Yeah, I would say that at the start of my career was somehow I felt when I joined the company, that I thought that it's the end. Because when like when you complete your degree and when you get the good job, and say that, okay, that's it. That's like I have achieved. So I think that is not the case. The life, it starts when you step into the career, and then you start it's to get the real taste of the life. Because till you're studying, it's like everything is okay. You make mistake and you do this and you're trying to like do the assignment. But when you are stepping in the career, you are on your own, and you have to make sure that it's not, I mean, like it's the life when during a student life, and the professional life is completely different. At the professional life, you have to not only meet the expectation of your boss or the company. I would say that you have to exceed their expectation, and rather than you have to make yourself indispensable for the organization. And that can be done only through your hard work, and when you know that you are going in the right direction. So there are not only one factor you need to, like when you are a student, you just need to focus on the study. But when you are in the professional life, you need to focus on a lot of things, like how you should know how to manage your boss, how to meet the expectation of your colleagues, and how to find out sometimes. Because no matter how good a culture of a company is, there's always a sort of a politics or because whenever there are two people, you have to tackle them very well. So how to manage your emotions, how to manage the others expectation is very important. So I would say that when you the profession when I the advice I would give, that that's the beginning of the life when you go into the professional life. So don't take it easy.
Yeah, I think many of us in this call can relate, as we're fresh graduate or final year. So we think that we just need to get an A, but when you get an A and you graduate, you go like, this hasn't yet started. So it's
Yeah.
true, and a lot of us can resonate within that. So thank you so much for your amazing insight. I think a lot of us will need to process many of the information we got today, and I'm not sure if anyone else would love to ask a question, unmute themselves if you want, or if you prefer to type it down, please feel free to do so.
Yeah.
Marsden.
Yeah.
Yes, you want to connect again. It's okay. Yes. Well, good afternoon. I just want to thank you very much for inviting us and even what you have told us, especially when you are there doing an international thing. Many times you come across very negative.
Marsden, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I think your voice is not clear.
Yeah, I
Hmm?
cannot hear properly.
I think we can't hear.
There's an echo or okay,
Yeah,
how about now?
Can you speak?
yeah. Can
I,
you?
I can try to talk without a mask. It's okay now?
Yeah, I think better.
It's better. I think there's only somehow background noise, as in the voice itself, but echo. It might be an echo, but it's fine. Let's give it one more shot.
Yeah.
No, first of all, I want to thank you very much for what you have talked to us and what you have told us. When we are dealing with the international affairs, sometimes it is difficult when you come across negative thoughts or negative statements coming, and you don't know how to handle or it could cover you suddenly. Then there is that you must smile when you are in office. So I don't know what you can advise.
I
Marsden,
couldn't understand.
yeah, I think Ambreen is struggling to listen because the voice is completely unclear. I was trying to make up a sentence from
Yeah,
here and there. I think I struggle to do so. So if feel
yeah,
free to type your question down
yeah.
because the last thing I heard you saying, what is your thought? So maybe you can type your question down or feel free to write it in the chat.
Yeah, it would be better.
Perfect. So till Marston type their question, is there anyone that would like to ask any other further questions?
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Hi. Thank you so much, Ambreen and Team BLIX, for this amazing workshop. I really enjoyed my early morning breakfast with that. So it's I can totally relate all these things with my life. So um, I have also the same like challenges in my life, my studies, career, family. So I can completely relate this. But I will say the same thing that self care should be the priority of a woman's life. And otherwise, you will be burned out from all these challenges you're facing every day.
Yeah, very true.
Thank you so much for your insight, Zahra. Um, Martin, are you feeling any issues with typing down the question? Okay, let's just give it a few minutes and we'll see.
Okay, I think there have been sometimes being in a global spotlight puts one under. Um, First of all, I mean, global is, I mean, first of all, I would say that never suppress your emotions because, that's the key thing. Like, for example, as I mentioned earlier, the more you resist, the more it will persist. So whenever we try to snub our thoughts or snub our, feelings, it's gonna come back to us in a more hideous way. So I would say that accept it, okay, if for example, if you feel a pressure, if you feel a stress, first of all, is you have to accept it, and then take precaution of whatever, like for example, if you're feeling stressed out, work upon that, do the meditation or practice mindfulness, and that is how you deal with these things, right? So I think that's I understood your question, right? That is what you meant, like we don't need to suppress our emotions, we need to accept it and then move on, and then try to deal with it. Like as I mentioned that the ants analogy, and how to actually transform them into pets. So that's how you deal with it. Does that answer my question? Answer your question? Okay. Okay.
Perfect. I think this brings us to the end of the talk. Thank you so much, Ambreen, for your precious time and for such an amazing talk. And for everyone who wasn't able to attend, this will be shared with them. And yeah, sorry, I thought we had another question, but not related. Thank you. Yeah, this brings us to an end. Thank you so much, everyone, for attending. And we were assured that we're going to catch up with a few key takeaways from today's session to remain in back in your mind and for us to start taking actions from today. So thank you, everyone, and have an amazing.
Yeah, thank you so much to all of you who attended, and thank you so much, Yumna and Team BLIX, that was giving me this chance and opportunity. I'm really grateful to you all. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye. Have a great day.
Bye.
Thank you.